Is it recording?
Yeah. Hi, everybody.
Hey.
My name is Brian Martin. I'm one of the playtesters for the Kickstarter for Seventh Crown. This is
Me. I'll introduce myself next, though. Yeah. Nathan Deno, and then we're also joined by Nick here.
Yep.
And the three of us are actually fortunate enough to be playtesters for Seventh Crown role-playing, as Brian mentioned. And really, we just wanted to take a second to tell you guys a little bit about some of the cool things that we've been encountering with the playtest. We've had an opportunity to play several sessions now, and it's really a very unique setting. The three of us are all old school gamers. I think I started when I was like 10, so 20 plus years, multitude of campaign worlds and game systems, and really, this has been a lot of fun for me, especially. I've had a really great time. I play Rarik, a dwarven wizard. Actually, a little bit of an odd, combination there, but having a lot of fun with it. And Nick, you're playing a halfling, right?
Yep, halfling bard.
Sweet.
I'm playing a
Tiefling, man.
Tiefling. I can't forget the name. I play a Tiefling Ranger named Hez.
And he's kind of a jerk, actually.
He's a little paranoid and a little mistrustful. So that has, but that's certainly there's some definitely benefits for playing a paranoid Tiefling in a universe like Seventh Crown. The cool thing is that stands out. We were recently. Exploring one of the capital city of the humans.
Yeah, Sacrasol.
And the interesting thing about that was, as a tiefling, even though there's some human heritage in that and whatnot, I was unaffected by the influence of the crowns, which is a really unique. I had no idea. That was kind of a surprise to me as a player. And I was when we kind of were in the city, I was like, huh.
Well,
everyone else is.
Yeah, the cool thing is that the crowns in Seventh Crown, if you're not familiar, each one influences a particular race. And in the case of the city of Sacrasol, that's where the queen or the bearer of one of the crowns is human, and she influences on half-elves and humans. And so it was really cool because that created a lot of really unique role-playing opportunities for us in the city. One of our members is a human. He's a human cleric. He's unfortunately not with us at the moment, but he was just like all gung-ho and embracing the role-playing aspects of that, and really it created some interesting inter-party dynamics.
We had some goals to achieve, and we had to get going, and because in the world it's harvest season. And one of the directives the Queen of Men put out was that everybody should strive to, do their part to make sure everybody's fed. And so our human cleric, was trying his darndest to go out and work the fields. And we're like, we
need you to heal us and not be healing the plants out in the fields or harvesting them. It didn't come to blows or anything like that, but it was still, a pretty interesting scenario where we're all like, hey, we're going to go adventure, and he's like, I'm going to go out and farm, and that didn't really go over too well. But another cool thing about the city and Seventh Crown is the fact that halflings are very limited in numbers because of basically they were nearly wiped out. Right.
When the ogres invaded, they were trapped in cities on the coast for the most part, and that's where the ogres hit first. So the halflings are kind of reduced to this nomadic existence where they're kind of like a gypsy tribes, always on the move, always traveling.
But everyone seems to really like them for the most part, and especially the humans in Sacrasol seem to be very welcoming in particular.
Right. Oh, again, that's one of the Queen's directives, is that they should always welcome halflings. Even though some of them might be, I don't really like that, they're kind of subconsciously directed to be like, hey, halflings are awesome.
Well, it definitely worked to your advantage. Playing a dwarf, obviously it didn't really affect me a whole lot, but it was kind of an interesting thing because how everyone was really nice in the city.
So nice.
And almost borderline creepy nice.
And so nice. Like they were Canadians.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But, we've had a lot of interesting interactions, not only with just like normal NPCs, but we recently encountered some goblins in one of the previous adventures we had, and the thing is that's really kind of cool about this particular world is that goblins are, they're evil for the most part, but they're usually not horribly vicious. And the goblins in Seventh Crown, I mean, they are really evil, and that really came through in a lot of our play tests, of the fact that they really are uniquely.
These aren't cuddly, funny goblins.
Yeah.
These are vicious killers that if you close your eyes the wrong way.
Exactly. My character, one of his unique flaws is that his hatred for his enemies is like unyielding, and so it created some interesting role-playing opportunities for us as well, because of the fact that I was all about hating the goblins no matter what, and everybody else is, well, maybe we can talk to him, maybe we can negotiate our way out of this. And come to find out, they really were as evil as my character thought they were,
And cannibals.
And cannibals, yeah. Not to add insult to injury, they were also cannibals. So, but we have a really uniquely blended party. All of the standard D&D races are pretty much represented in our group. And the nice thing is like not one particular race is kind of ostracized, pushed to the side, and not really able to integrate with society. Even the tiefling, who is not very well regarded, is still accepted. So you can have a cohesive party, no matter really what kind of character you want to play, and it seems to work out really well. Even a drow that we have in the party is very well respected, and then again, that has to go with the crowns, because the current bearer of one of the crowns is a drow, and one of his laws is that all elves have to basically be hospitable to other elves, and so that means that a lot of the drow have come to the surface and are trying to integrate with normal society. And so I know I'm a little bit of a fanboy for the drow. I've always really liked them, ever since way back Forgotten Realms, Menzoberranzan, that whole box set. And it's really cool to be able to see a campaign world where the drow can really flourish.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything that this is a character you just can't play.
Yeah.
The world itself is so open, and the way even like the below and the above kind of mix and interact. We saw a really neat example of that in the human capital city. They have a district basically designed specifically for races that live underground. I was traveling through it, and there's no windows in any of the buildings. There's things. It was just a very unsettling description of this neighborhood where everything's inside, and the basement is the main section of the building, and it's that's kind of the passion and the detail that Brian Steele puts into a lot of his games. I mean, that's what I really like to see, is because there's like a logic behind a lot of the worlds. Even though it's a fantasy world, there are realistic things that if a society was built around these races, that they would do things like that. And I thought that was one of many cool touches. We haven't had a chance to go to the Great Beneath yet, which is the Underdark effectively, and I'm wondering if we're going to end up there before it's all said and done. Yeah, we're going to try and avoid.
Fortunately, we have a drow in our party, so hopefully he can be our liaison.
That'll go over well. He's so nice. Actually, the one of the neat things about the world Canis and everything is because of the nature of the crowns, you don't have these geopolitical borders that you do in a lot of other worlds. That's where you go, I'm in this kingdom, or I'm in this kingdom, and we can't cross the border. It's such a wide open world. Mm-hmm. My character, being a ranger, is very well traveled throughout the lands, and there's it's kind of unique with the caravan system and how every town's interconnected with this.
The old ancient dwarven roads that join a lot of the major cities.
Massive roads.
From the old dwarf empire. My character actually supposedly heralds from that lineage. and so he's very proud and honorable. But all of those major highways and everything were from that old dwarven society, and so you get to see a lot of the evolution of, you know, how a world that was so ingrained and so set up nicely can just be wiped out and then rebuilt. And so it's a really cool kind of fresh start.
In a way, it's almost like this world has had their apocalypse, and this is the societies that kind of sprung up from that, and they're the way they interact. Each race being a unified, cohesive political entity. But at the same time, because there's no boundaries, there's no borders, you can have somebody who's a loyal drow elf citizen living, you know, next door to someone who's a starch humanist, and there's just a whole level of interaction there that doesn't exist in a lot of other games.
I mean, we could talk about it for hours. You don't have hours to watch this video, but we just want to encourage you to go out and back this project, because we're having a huge amount of fun with it, and we know that you guys will as well. Check it out. You know, check out the different backer levels. You know, let's get to those stretch goals, because as the more, you know, this gets funded, the more cool stuff is going to be produced, and I would really like to see some of that personally, you know, happen as well.
Definitely.
Join us in the sandbox. It's
yeah. All right. Well, thanks a lot, everybody, and, you know, make sure to share and retweet and back Seventh Crown.
Good night.